We're live.
Hit it.
Supershow. Hi, I'm Cy Kellett, the host of Catholic Answers Live. This is Catholic Answers Live Supershow. Look who I'm in the studio with. Two really important people. Watch this. I'm going to do it right. Edgar Lujano.
Oh, okay. Finally got it.
Assistant host.
Assistant host. That's right. I was about to correct you. I was about to say assistant to the host.
But look who's here with us. We had a call out sick from our good friend Erica. And look who came in. Thomas the Tank Engine. Hi, Thomas.
Off the bench.
Father of two.
Father of two.
Husband of one.
Thank God, only one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just make an observation here?
Yeah.
We have the host and two fill-in hosts.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what?
Yeah.
Next,
Chris Check is a fill-in host, right? We needed to get him in here.
he is. Yeah, we do. He wasn't here yesterday, so he had his 2 full hours. I will say this: next week it's going to be us two
Oh, yeah, because I'm out for 4
Carrying
out of
the
5
load.
days.
carrying
yeah.
the load. Yep.
And here we are, surrounding you. Feeling nervous, Si? Feeling,
A little bit.
Feeling intimidated?
Yeah, a little bit by one of you. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say which one it is, so you guys will have to work it out. One
Yeah.
of you is such a good host that it intimidates me. The other one, I have no feelings about.
The other
so.
one's an assistant. Yeah.
Wow.
What do you guys want to talk about on Super Show today to start? I know what you want to talk about. You're all excited. I actually am impressed with how excited you are about this because I am a spaceship fan.
Okay.
And like I'm a kid of Apollo. I'm of the Apollo era, and you are excited to see the space capsule come back to Earth.
I am.
Which we're maybe going to be able to see from San Diego.
No, which you are maybe we'll be able to see it. I'm not going to be in town.
Oh, you're going to be in Texas.
I'm going to be in Texas.
Oh,
So I'm going to miss
that's
it.
funny.
But
You've been so enthusiastic, and then you're going to miss it.
I'm gonna miss
You know
it.
what?
Yep.
Maybe something will go wrong, and they'll have to orbit a couple more times, and then you can become back.
for a few days.
Yeah, maybe they'll get. Yeah.
Come back on Sunday.
Let's hope for something to go terribly wrong.
Maybe
with the space mission.
Maybe they'll have to land in Houston instead, which is
Right.
where all the space stuff happened to begin with. And
Right.
that'll be closer to us. And then
It's
we
harder
can-
to land in Houston. It's a little.
Yeah, they got a lot of traffic there. You
Yeah.
can't just
You're gonna
cruise onto a freeway.
a harder
like you could here.
surface unless you maybe go down to Galveston.
I mean, tell me it isn't cool whenever you see a spaceship in the air. I know every time I see like
I'm such an old curmudgeon about this. I'm like, look at all that pollution. What are we doing? Because where I live, you get to see a lot of SpaceX rockets.
I was gonna say every time I look up and I see one of those, like it's just
Yeah.
it really makes you feel small, but it also makes you feel like, man, humanity does some really cool stuff.
Yeah, especially when you see the part where the rocket's going up, and then you see the one rocket starts coming back down, and the other one's going to space. And this one is not like falling; they're like driving that thing back. They're going to land it on a ship. I do object. I have an objection to this. I think they should do it far offshore. I don't think anyone should have to listen to the sonic boom from these things. I have become such a freak about why would we need so much noise in the world? That's how I've become.
You really are a cranky old
I'm
man.
a cranky old man. Yeah, I'm a cranky old man about the whole thing. But that thing's coming down. I'm like, nah, we don't need that. Babies are sleeping. Stop it.
I mean, that's apropos because I was going to say, as a father of two, my whole life is noise, so I can't even ask for less noise.
But
in the
how
world.
precious is it to you when they are both simultaneously asleep?
They sleep at the same time?
Oh, so it's never happened. That's
do
how
that?
rare it is.
Can you tell me how to make that happen?
So then Elon Musk wakes up your whole family with a rocket.
Yeah.
Don't you find that annoying?
I found it annoying when he launched one the other day and it was going up in the sky while we were driving. Except I was driving and it was over there, so I couldn't be going like,
Oh, yeah, you
like
couldn't
that
watch it.
to watch it.
It is
and my
kinda fun
wife
to watch.
is in the passenger seat going like, "Oh, that's so cool! That's so cool!" Taking all these pictures,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Boy, can you describe it to me? Is it a rocket? Is it?" And that annoyed me. So Elon, please change the launch trajectory next time. So
Put
that
it in front of Thomas. Could
Aligns
you-
with my driving route.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It almost feels like the whole Apollo missions and all that happened, and then it's like they gave up. They stopped. And we had
Because we won.
I know.
Once you win the Super Bowl,
did
you
it.
go to Disneyland. They literally say that after. Where are you going? I'm going to Disneyland. Our nation took a 50-year trip to Disneyland.
Not only
We earned
that,
it.
but the opponent literally like stopped existing. Imagine that. Imagine your team wins the Super Bowl and then the opponent just evaporates
Yeah.
into dust, and then you're like, why play football anymore? We did it.
sounds like Avengers Endgame spoiler
Yes.
alert, or Infinity War.
Yes, precisely.
Yep.
Oh, spoiler alert! Like no,
10 years.
like there's someone on Earth who's like, I've never seen one of those Avengers
Watched
movies.
that in college.
Everybody
Spoiler
watched them.
alert.
Well, I don't know. What about this? This is something that used to hurt. I don't hear it as much anymore. Maybe because I just can't hear that well anymore. But I used to hear a lot of we've got enough problems here on Earth. Why are we going to space? You don't feel that way?
I mean, there's always going to be problems. That there's something beautiful about this achievement of going back to the moon. Like, and not only that, but going past the moon and then coming back. But this is just one of many missions that's going to happen, right?
I feel like it was rude to the moon. The moon's like, they're coming back. They're coming. What's up? Just right past me.
Yeah. It truly is that I want to say the American entrepreneurial spirit of we're going above and beyond, and not to quote Star Trek, to go where no man has gone before. But I think about 100 years ago, 200 years ago, you would hear that America invented, or inventions from America just kept happening over and over and over again, or the discovery of new things. And this to me gives hope. There's just something primal in me that says, yes, we need to go out and do this. Yeah. It's the same thing whenever a human sees a mountain and says, I want to climb it to the top. I want to climb to the top. Why? I have no idea. I just feel like I need to go to the top of this mountain.
Yeah. Who was the climber who said, because it's there?
Because
why do you climb Everest? Because it's there. Why do we got to go past the moon? Because it's there.
Okay,
let's go.
But let's say the climber that's climbing the mountain, you go, why did you climb Mount Everest? Because it's there. But that person at the same time is spending tons of money on that, literally walking by poor people to get to the mountain. Doesn't give you a little bit of a...
Can I push back on that?
No, you cannot. We're going to a break.
All right.
Go ahead. That's what we're here for. Is
you know,
to push
you know,
back on.
you
That's
know.
why I say these things.
It actually helps the poor from that area, because what you're doing is you're bringing revenue to that area. Think about what are the names of the towns as you're climbing your way up to Mount Everest. My wife will attest to this, that for about a month or two ago, I got in this weird YouTube kick of watching people go up Mount Everest and going through the towns and finding all of their gear and the trail till you get to the main camps, and then the last
climb
trek.
over the bodies that are frozen.
Walk past the bodies of people but
man.
it's a reality of it. I mean, people die, right? Especially when you're doing the things that are difficult. What was it John F. Kennedy said? I think it was specifically about this.
We do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes me very proud to be an American right now.
Because at least you know you're free.
Because at least I know I'm free from
free to go to the moon, man. Let's do it.
I do think if I were to push back against my own argument, because I don't actually believe my own argument that I was making, I was just making it to be a devil's advocate a little bit. But
Judas advocate.
The kind of ancillary benefits that come from research and technology and innovation and all of that are really, when I was a kid, they used to be like, whoa, they went to the moon and that's why we have things like Tang. Well, do you even know what Tang is? Have you ever had Tang?
Oh, yeah.
I had it once.
Okay, so hold on a second.
So we spent $1 trillion into them. Well, now I'm exaggerating.
Can I tell you somebody
and we
in the
got
comment?
Tang. But that's not at all. Somebody said that in there?
No, Mike Morvan says, Cy, if you have a cell phone, thank NASA. That's exactly it.
Yeah, that's
the same
right.
argument.
But it's not just me that has it. What I think of is like, okay, Elon Musk is doing all these crazy things, shooting people in rockets and shooting cars out into the moon or into Mars and stuff. But these, just for an example, just one example, these satellite networks that are going to circle the Earth, maybe 1 billion people who were cut off from the world economy will be connected by that. That's a world historical good that's happening. Yeah. And so I think it's a little bit short-sighted to make the argument that I was just running by you guys, which is, well, what about the poor? I don't think, I'm not one of those people that's like, if we just spend more money doing wild things, the poor are going to be all right. I think you do have to do some direct, we have to love one another. Yeah. Like that's essential. But I think as a policy matter for our country, spending, a few $100 billion a decade to shoot stuff out into space and see what happens, throw some people on those rockets every now and then, see if the toilet works. And I think you get benefits that you really couldn't even have guessed at.
The reason I don't like those kinds of arguments, why would you spend money on X when you could spend it on this? It's this notion that goods can compete with one another, that there's this zero-sum game of how you approach goods and how you use money. And exploration, I think, is a good in itself. it's something worth pursuing for its own sake, exploration, right? And that would include space, even if that's tremendously expensive. And if the same person, let's say if the same one person is just dumping a bunch of money into going to space and has the money to do that and is completely neglecting the poor, like that's kind of close to your example, yes, his priorities are a bit out of order there. His priorities are disordered, and he should fix that. But, I mean, in the case of the astronauts, it's their job, right, to go to space. Someone else is funding all that, right? NASA's funding that. The government's funding. I guess you and I are funding that in a way.
Right. Your kids are funding
I'm cool with that, really, because I'm also funding, food for my kids. So I'm kind of doing both, right?
Yeah.
But as far as the astronauts go and the people running the program and everything, they're pursuing a good in itself. They're pursuing exploration. And like you were just alluding to, Sai, there are perhaps unforeseen goods, unforeseen discoveries that we'll make that will benefit humanity in some way, or will just be cool. Isn't it cool to find cool stuff?
It is, but it's not cool to find cool stuff if the consequence of that is the neglect of the poor.
The direct consequence.
We want to do this cool thing. So look, which I think is what the state of California is doing right now, frankly. It would be so cool to have a super fast train that goes between Bakersfield and Modesto. Like that's cool. That is cool. Mm-hmm. But there are people who can't get basic psychiatric care on the streets of we don't have psychiatric, like where I live, the city that I live in, Oceanside. We've gone years without a psychiatric hospital because there was an earthquake problem with it, so you couldn't put people in it. Well, when I look at that, I go, and we're going to get a bullet train from Bakersfield to Modesto. That's cool. It's not cool what it's costing us in terms of the other goods that could have come out of that.
Yes.
With that money.
Yes. Well put, I think. And in that case, we have the same body who is deciding that this money needs to go here rather than to maybe a more important thing here.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we want to bring it back to Elon, I don't know how much he gives to charitable causes or to people who really, really need the money, but I got to assume he's got enough to do that and send people into space,
right?
Send stuff into space. So does the U.S. government.
But also business is good. Business is not an evil. Yeah. I mean, people having businesses, growing businesses, he's very good at that. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to get to Big Stack said his dad worked for. Now I lost the thing, Big Stack. Don't worry, Big Stack. I'm getting there. His dad worked on Mercury and Apollo, et cetera. Wow. How big was he on Apollo 13? Not just kidding, Big Stack. Sorry. I'm sure that wasn't his fault. Oh, I left a wrench somewhere. Where was that?
Previously,
Big Stack. It's a joke.
Those were until very recently the humans to go farthest away from Earth, right?
Yeah, they were
the previous record holders because they had to slingshot around the moon. If I remember Tom Hanks correctly, right?
I never want to get into a situation where the only thing that will solve it is for me to slingshot around the moon.
Yeah,
I don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah, a couple wrong turns were made in the past to get you to that situation.
What if you have to slingshot around a black hole? That's when it gets real bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, I watched Interstellar a couple of days ago, so
how about dive straight into it? How about that?
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Then you can enter into the Tesseract and create, pass on new technology. Again, spoiler alert.
Lord.
Smack a book on the ground for some reason.
This is why we need Erica here. You can't have three dudes in here because eventually, if you have three dudes together,
three dudes talking about space,
it's gonna be turned into a conversation about Marvel. I guarantee you, by the end of this hour, someone will say, "Who will win, Hulk or Spider-Man in a fight?" That's what men do. Let me just.
The real question is Ali versus Bruce Lee. That's the real question.
Well, we cannot have that conversation without Tom Nash because Tom Nash won this debate.
He did not win the debate.
He did.
Nope. No, he did not.
No, I think this is more accurate.
Let me ask the internet: who would win in a fight? Muhammad Ali has to wear boxing gloves and has to go by boxing rules.
In his prime.
And Bruce Lee gets to do his MMA thing or whatever he does. Both of them in their prime, who wins, Muhammad Ali or Bruce Lee?
All right, Twitch.
And
chat,
if you say Bruce Lee, no, never mind. Someone look at this, Brandon Manderson. Obviously, a man who knows a great deal about attractive men. That seems to be something that he's an expert on.
More than you know.
He says, anyone else think that Thomas looks like Ryan Gosling? So Thomas, whoever this Brandon Manderson character is, who seems to be an expert in male beauty. He thinks that you are quite a beauty.
All I see whenever I see Thomas is Project Hail Mary. That's it.
Really, I gotta see that movie Project Hail
We
Mary.
still
I
have
keep
to
hearing.
see it.
I mean,
Okay.
all I'll say is the one thing that we know for certain about Ryan Gosling is he is literally me.
All right, we have
Brandon's observation is quite astute. Thank you, Brandon.
All right, we have we have 3 votes. One for Ali, one for Bruce Lee, one for Jackie Chan breaks into the ring. That's those are the 3 votes we have. Only one of those is correct.
Hold on a second. Twitch did not say anything, so we're going to go ahead and skip to
Nice
them.
Twitch.
Okay, so
boy.
so
Abstention.
there's this other thing about these moon missions, and that is people go, well, it inspires the next generation of scientists and technologists and engineers and stuff. And I think that's actually true. I think that there's a great deal of evidence that, people want to do something great with their life. And being an engineer, you go be an engineer. Well, I don't know what that is. That's hidden from me. So, but when you get a public view of this is what engineers do, they do crazy stuff like this, then you go, oh yeah, that would be a great thing to do with my life. And I like math, I could be an engineer. What I liked on this trip, and I think I've spoken about this before here, I'm not sure, so excuse me if I'm repeating myself. I like that these pilots, scientists, engineers that are in the spaceship are talking about their faith in God. Because that, to me, is important because we need more Christian kids to know you can be a scientist or an engineer because we need more Christian people in the sciences and in engineering.
And then before you know it, we're going to have a Diocese of Mars, and they're going to have to do their ad limina travel back.
What do you think of that?
We skipped straight from a Diocese on the Moon to the Diocese of Mars. That was.
There's a reason why he did
boy.
that. Do you know why he did that?
Do you know I did that?
No, tell me.
There's a book written out there. It's a beautiful story about a priest who has to make his way
Really?
back from his diocese in.
I
Actually, no,
wrote
it's
it.
the bishop.
I wrote it.
Oh, you give it away. I was gonna draw it out.
I was
a little
gonna
bit.
say I should read it, but
There's a book written by Cy Kellett called Ad
Limina.
Ad Limina. Ad
Yes.
Limina. You should check it out. You can buy
Is
it
this
on.
why we're talking about? Is this why we're talking about?
Hey, it's
space?
all-
You just
it's
wanted to
all
sell
space-
books for me.
it's all
you
space stuff, right?
He's my agent. He gets
I see.
15% cut,
I
so
see.
he's almost up to a full Subway sandwich right now in his.
Hey,
his
that's a
Subway-
lot of money nowadays, all right?
Yeah, it actually is a lot of money. It's not $5 like it used to be. All right. Anything else about the moon, or you want to move on to the next story? Or I have a quiz for the two of you too. We can go on to the quiz. We can do the.
Well, let's go on to the next story because
right.
we're gonna have a pre-record tomorrow. So for those watching, we are a little understaffed here in the office because Thomas, myself, and a few others in the office are going to be in Dallas, Texas. Well, Frisco to be exact. We're going to the Conference of Trent.
Why did some people get invited and other people, for example, I'm not saying anyone didn't get invited.
I know you got invited. Don't say you didn't. I know you got
I
invited.
couldn't go.
why did some people decline the invitation?
Yes, that's the real
Were they
question.
Too big for it, or what?
Too big for the seat on the airplane. Yes. So what's this all about? I think it's kind of cool. They got how many people come into this thing?
Sold out 700 people.
700 people are coming to Dallas. First of all, Dallas, a great location. Because almost anywhere in the U.S., you can get a pretty cheap flight to Dallas. You can find some kind of a flight to Dallas.
Yep.
And you'll be there in an hour and a half, 2 hours from most parts. 3 hours from out here on the West Coast. But so you get to Dallas, you get off the plane, and you got a one-day conference?
One-day conference.
Okay, so it's all day Saturday?
All day Saturday, and the prices were really cheap, which is fantastic because it gave the opportunity for people who were in the area or wanted to fly in.
What is it, like $500 for the one-day conference with Trent Horn?
Yeah, approximately. Yeah, drop a zero. Drop a zero.
$50?
$50.
$50. So you get yourself a plane ticket,
And not only that,
$50 and you can get there.
You can meet Trent. You can meet Joe Heschmeyer. You can meet yours truly, and also
Thomas the TikTok
the
engine?
Tank Engine.
The TikTok engine.
Oh, that's right. You called him the Tank Engine earlier.
Did I call you Thomas the Tank Engine?
I was trying to be polite, but yeah, you did not use my correct government name. No,
I apologize for that.
that's fine.
You don't seem like a tank engine. You
It's
seem
okay.
like a TikTok engine.
It's been a minute since we did the segment, so I understand if you were a little bit rusty.
I am rusty
Yeah,
on it.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Why did we stop doing that segment? You were good at it. It was fun to have you come in. Did
was-
Edgar fire you?
No, I was truly very good at coming in and reading questions off a screen.
Why you say
Not
that
just-
like that's a low thing?
Not
What if
just like-
someone's
no.
whole career was sitting in front of a microphone reading stuff off you're
not-
making it sound like it's not important, but
You
this
know,
might be one of the
it
world's
was-
most important jobs.
It's very
Thomas.
well might be, and I just figured maybe I shouldn't be flying too close to the sun.
Flying
here.
too close to the sun. Good, very good.
No, it just fell off because I didn't feel like we were getting good questions anymore,
okay.
and maybe I should go back and see if
there's
they're
good
they're
stuff.
starting to come through. Any more interesting questions to take on, and maybe I should lower the bar too, because sometimes, as I'm sure any of the regular guests of the show can attest, like sometimes the most boring questions are the ones that everyone is asking. So we could possibly see a TikTok engine revival in the future. We might be pulling back into the station sooner rather than later.
That would be fun. Have you come back in, Thomas the TikTok engine?
Yeah. Until such time though, you can come visit. You can come to the Conference of Trent and find out what's under the beanie.
It's sold out though now. Right?
It's sold out for this year, so maybe next
Sorry,
year.
Brandon Manderson. I know that you wanted to come, but I apologize.
But I
for
mean,
that.
there's going to be a lot of great people there. So Cameron Bertuzzi from Capturing Christianity, William Albrecht, Amber Rose, the religious hippie,
Yep.
Evan Rogest. Who else am I missing?
Kevin Fernandez,
Kevin
since 33
Fernandez.
AD.
Yep.
Brian Holdsworth.
These are
Brian
great
Holdsworth.
people.
Yes.
A lot is going
Franco.
on.
Franco's going to be there as well. Franco
Yes,
TV.
the Franco TV. Yep.
And you know what's cool about this is the New York Times had that article just yesterday or the day before. I can't remember which day it was in the New York Times. But a big article about how Catholic apologetics is actually bringing people into the Catholic Church. Like people are saying it's these apologetics videos that did it for me.
Yeah.
Father Mike Schmitz, all the people you named, Matt Frad, certainly the guys here at Catholic Answers.
Yeah.
So I think this is a
Well, and I think
it's a perfect time for this conference.
one thing that Trent did with this conference, and also shout out to Kyle Whittington, who does the Catholic Creator Conference as well.
He'll be
There's some, which he's also going to be at the Trent's conference. There's something about bringing these content creators into one building, because the longer you stay online, the more you're able to you just communicate with each other over response videos. It can digress into frustration, anger, and just infighting.
that's right.
But when you bring people in one building under one roof, you can clear the air, because people tend to be a lot more cordial when they're in person than when they're behind that screen.
Yes.
So,
I know when they meet you in person, they're a lot more cordial than they are when they.
yeah, because it's usually didn't realize you were that tall.
Oh, you're Edgar. Oh, okay.
Yeah, take me to Edgar. Where is Edgar?
like,
Hey, Edgar. Hey.
What's up, man?
What's up, SA? Hey.
What's up, essay?
Yeah. No, I remember at the last Catholic Creator Conference last summer, I saw beefs squashed in real time in front of my eyes, just because people were talking to other people instead of to words on a screen or angry people in response videos. And I mean, that's the goal for that conference. I hope that happens in Trent's too.
As my friend Deacon John says, he taught me one of the great lessons of my life, Deacon John. He said one time, if we don't know each other, we can't love each other. And we're called to love each other.
My favorite, the tagline for the Creator Conference last year was "Get into strangling distance with each other, or get into hugging distance."
They
with
crossed
each other.
out the strangling
Like,
and put hugging, which
yeah.
really is in the spirit of the whole thing,
Yeah.
because you cross out what you wrote on the internet before when you actually get in hugging distance with someone.
I got to this is off topic, but this is so good. Divine Mercy Catechesis, at Divine Mercy Catechesis, said this, because we called you Thomas the TikTok engine. They said, where's Percy the stream engine?
He's my nemesis. He's not allowed in the same room as me.
No, but stream, not steam engine, stream engine. Get it?
Very clever.
it
Divine
is
Mercy
good.
Catechesis. Very, very clever. He's still my nemesis.
Knee
Wait,
slap
Divine
with
Mercy Catechesis is your nemesis?
No,
or
Percy
is?
the
Oh, okay.
the stream engine.
You don't like
Man.
Divine Mercy?
No, Divine Mercy is as good as it gets. I need more.
Jesus
with
talks
to me.
awry.
Ari.
says,
That's Ari.
Jesus talks Ari. I met Edgar in November, and I was shocked at how tall he is. Crying emoji. A literal giant.
Look, we still don't talk about my cousin Goliath. All right, we just still a little
Sore.
bitter by that.
How small is Jesus talks awry?
Ari.
Yeah, Ari. How small
I got to
is
tell
this
you,
person?
Jesus
'Cause
talks Ari.
a
It's not
literal
that easy to
giant-
read your name.
Literal giant is exaggerating. I think
Well,
a
it
little bit.
depends-
Edgar's large. He's not.
Look, I will tell you this: in my culture, I'm a literal giant. amongst
In most
Hispanics.
cultures, you're a little giant. I want to. Let's go. I would like to film this outside sometime, and we'll fight. And I get a slingshot with a little rock, and then you come at me like this.
That is not how we talked. All right.
That's how the giants talk.
Yeah. No, I remember in VeggieTales, he specifically went, "Who will fight me?" That's
Raised on VeggieTales.
yeah, and he had the boxing gloves.
All right. There's your answer right there for Ari.
How are we supposed to pronounce it?
okay.
Sound it out for us. I know it's unless it's Jesus. Jesus talks awry. Jesus talks airy. What are we supposed to say?
There's no W there. Come on.
Wait, why did Game Fan 8552 say also Trent conference is coming up? We just did 10 minutes on the Trent conference. Are you?
Game Fan is not up on his game.
Bro
Game
could have
Fan,
just entered.
what's up?
He could have just entered
Just entered the
and
chat.
thought that we would like to know that the Trent conference is coming
We
up.
should talk about
Thank
the Trent
you.
conference. Thank you.
I do have a flight to catch tomorrow, and thank you for reminding me of that, Game Fan. I don't know why
Yes.
Sai is coming down on you so hard.
Big Stack says I was 6'6". What happened? I was 6'6" because I do not measure my height anymore.
Look,
Because I
I-
was never that tall, but I'm like 61. I'm pretty sure I'm extra not tall now.
I was 6'4". Now I'm 6'3".
Really?
Uh-oh.
All because of Lena just pounding. the-
Get the hammer and just like over my head, you know?
Is Big Stack just making a Mitch Hedberg
Ari.
joke? I used to be 6'6". I still am, but I used to be too.
Jesus talks Ari.
Jesus talks
That's
Ari.
what Liz B
Okay.
said. All right, are you guys ready for this quiz? I want to do a quiz with you.
Let's do it.
It's an Easter season. We haven't done a quiz on this show before. It'll be
Okay.
the TikTok engine against Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
We'll call, and I want the people online to play. Do you want to play? Just write yes or no in there if you want to play along. Also, Sai, has Edgar been teaching you Spanish? No, he won't teach you Spanish. Diana Jacqueline in the other office. She is kind and friendly, and she teaches me, and she calls me. You know what she calls me?
Cirilo.
Don Cirilo.
Ah, Don Cirilo.
She says,
The Don.
Buenos dias, Don Cirilo. And I go, every time she does it. All right, here's the deal. I've got some questions. There are multiple choice questions. You guys have to let me read all the way through. You can't interrupt because the people online want to play. I have shrunk. I am old. That's what Big Stack writes. Yeah, and you also write in simple declarative sentence like you're a giant. I am shrunk. I am old.
Hey, he is one of my
love picking
people.
up-
Big Stack is one of my people.
He's
all right?
awesome. He's a good fella.
I,
All right.
I am proud to have him part of my tribe.
Everyone was so excited to meet him. Everyone on the staff was so
Yeah.
excited to meet him at the conference. It was like he was the celebrity.
He really was.
Not you. You thought you were the celebrity.
I'm far from it, man.
I know I can always depend
just a
on
literal
Edgar to say
giant.
my name right and always correct Sai. You are right. Edgardo is very good at that.
And there he goes again.
All right, here's the way nobody online said yes that you want to play.
got- we
yes,
got
Moderno
one.
said.
Somebody said yes? Oh,
Medrano, not
Okay,
Medrano.
Edgar the Goat. Oh, that's
goat.
nice. Oh, that's how you pronounce that? Goat?
Edgar the
Okay.
Goat.
I thought it was Edgar the Goat. I have trouble with names, Jesus talks Ari. All right, I have one person that wants to play. So S. Medrano, 1964, you are playing for the $1 million. Nobody else wanted
Whoa.
it.
Okay.
Well, it's not a real $1 million.
Okay.
It's
Shaunovision says, I'm already playing Fallout 76.
Attaboy.
So,
Okay.
All right, here we go. I'm going to read the multiple choice questions. There are 4 potential answers. You guys have to, don't look.
I'm not looking.
Edgardo,
I'm
I'm going to
not
back
looking.
up here like this so you can't look.
Just got a Family Feud.
All right, here we go. And these are Easter. All the questions are Easter themed because we are celebrating the resurrection of the Lord. That's why we're just so happy and joyful this week.
This is Thomas Aquinas College versus Franciscan University, by the way.
Oh, I wonder who I've got my money on. The one where they read books, or
We just like dirt, you know,
or Franciscan University.
The ones who run around naked, so I hear.
What?
After their patron saint.
Oh, Francis. All right.
There is no nudity there.
That was very odd, Thomas. That was
It
a
would-
very odd intervention
would-
on your part. All right,
would track.
what was an ancient Christian Easter custom for newly baptized believers during the Easter season? You got to let me give all the answers, all right? What was an ancient Christian Easter custom for newly baptized believers during the Easter season? A, they wore white garments for the days after Easter. B, they fasted again immediately after Easter Sunday. C, they avoided receiving communion until Pentecost. Or D, they made a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. Which of those, A, B, and if you need a repeat, just tell me, what was an ancient Christian Easter custom for newly baptized believers during the Easter season?
How are we answering this at the same time or like one after the other?
You can-
Or,
Well, we'll go you first on the first question, then you first on the second question. So go ahead. You go primero.
A sounds right to me.
I want to say A as well, but it just doesn't feel right. I'll say
Okay, you should just follow him. He read books in college, okay? A, they wore white garments for the days after Easter. Johnny, is there any way you could keep score for me? Because I don't think I'll be able to do it. You got a piece of paper or something you keep score on? We're tied 1-1 right now.
That was correct. That was the correct voice. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
A.
Yes.
Esmedrano
Can you
got it
help me,
wrong.
Johnny, with that or no? Yeah, okay. Johnny's
Hold on.
multitasking in there.
And Game Fan got it wrong.
Divine Mercy
Divine
Catechesis got it right. Yep.
All right.
And-
yeah, but with a question mark. Do you get points for that?
Yeah.
Divine Mercy Catechesis, that's like A.
And random
I don't
ca-
know if that's an answer. A.
That's how I'm going to do it.
Random Catholic 315 got it right as well.
Okay, here we go. Question number 2. What is the Eastern European Easter tradition of the blessing baskets of food brought to the church called in Poland? Okay, what is the Eastern European Easter tradition of blessing baskets of food brought to the church called in Poland? A. Simbang Gabi. B. Svajkonka. C. Las Posadas. Or D. Benedictio Corbis pro fatoribus saxorum volubilium. I'll give those to you again. What is the Easter tradition of blessing baskets of food brought to a church in Poland called? Is it called A. Simbang Gabi, B. Svajkonka, C. Las Posadas, or D. Benedictio Corbis pro fatoribus saxorum volubilium? A, B, C, or D?
Sorry, could you read them again?
No, I'm not doing that.
No, I actually remember exactly where we read this at TAC. So
Stop it. Don't say that.
All right, so you go first.
Now
A,
I'm
A, B,
embarrassed
C,
to
or
answer.
D?
I don't know this answer. I'm gonna go with D.
Okay. What are you going to go with?
the answer is B.
The answer is B. All right, I'm going to tell you what I said in Latin, okay? When I said Benedictio Corbis pro fatoribus saxorum volubilium, I was actually saying blessing of the baskets for Rolling Stones fans. So that's what you chose. And you chose Svajkonka. And you are correct.
The
So
one that
we are now
sounded-
2-1. Yes?
sounded
Thank you,
Polish.
Johnny.
Oof. All right.
Did you just put that in Google Translate and get that out? in
Everybody
Latin?
got it except for me.
Yes.
What the heck?
Yes.
You don't think I can't write Latin?
No, I know. I thought maybe someone with more knowledge of
No,
Latin
it
would have
wasn't.
made up that holiday.
It wasn't ChatGPT. It was Google Translate.
It
I
was
put
Google
in,
Translate.
Yeah,
Good.
It was.
The way God intended.
That's how God intended us to
Yes.
speak Latin with Google
Yes.
Translate.
Yes.
It was hard to get it to translate Rolling Stones. It just kept saying Rolling Stones, like because it saw it as a proper noun. So I had to change it to Rolling Rocks, and then
The
That-
stones,
it was a process.
And then
stones
change-
in motion. Yes.
There you go. You should have said Stones in Motion.
Very unfortunate.
okay, what? Wait, how many of these do I have? Oh, I got a good number of them.
Ari is shaming me right now. Look at this. Come on, Edgar.
Ari shaming you?
She's shaming me.
I'm going to criticize Latin, LOL. Go ahead, Liz. I mean, really, I don't think it's a big stretch for you to criticize my Latin. All right, here we go. I win. I will not be prideful. At Smedrano 1964. I'm rooting for Edgar at first, but it looks like I might need to switch sides. Yes, that's what I do when I'm watching sports on TV. I just switch
No
sides.
loyalty. No
No,
loyalty.
that's how you have fun. Is no loyalty.
Edgar, if you weren't so big and scary, she might.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, what is a custom especially associated with Eastern Orthodox Pascha, meaning Easter? What is a custom especially associated with Eastern Orthodox Pascha? A, hiding Easter baskets in the churchyard. B, exchanging red-dyed eggs as a sign of the resurrection. C, covering statues with white cloth until Pentecost. Or D, ringing handbells during the Gloria at every Mass of Easter week. Well, let me read it again just so the people online can continue to play. What is a custom especially associated with the Eastern Orthodox Pascha? A, hiding Easter baskets in the churchyard. B, exchanging red-dyed eggs as a sign of the resurrection. C, covering statues with white cloth until Pentecost. Or D, ringing handbells during the Gloria at every Mass of Easter week. All the answers have got to be in now because I'm going to Thomas. Thomas, what do you pick?
The answer is B.
And you say?
Can I just copy him? I'm going to go with B. Let's do it.
That's what the kids say in class at Franciscan University. Can I just copy? And the instructor was like, yeah, go ahead. Is that right, Johnny? I think your sisters went there.
Many such cases.
Exchanging red-dyed eggs. In Orthodox tradition, red eggs are a well-known Paschal custom, especially in Greek practice, though they are not a formal part of the divine liturgy, of course.
That was correct, right?
You were correct.
You got to have a correct voice style.
Bloop,
I don't know.
bloop, bloop.
That's right.
That'll be my sound. Bloop, bloop,
That's
bloop.
right. Just same old announcer. There it
Hey,
is. There it is.
there you go, Johnny.
Johnny wins.
Same old announcer.
Johnny
voice.
wins the whole thing. Thanks, Johnny. All right, I'm going to go back to the Middle Ages
Good
now.
job, the 7, the Electron, Smedrano, Big Stack, and Divine Mercy Catechesis. All got it. Oh, wait, sorry. The 7, the Electron did not get it right. Wrong. Liz B. Kath.
We
correct.
love you, the 7th Electron 441.
Yes.
Thank you for playing.
The
I appreciate
7th, the
that.
Electron. All right, so I read a long time ago. Now I'm catching up on how to read again. But
Wait, no, it's the 7th Electron.
I know. I was reading as the 7th, the Electron because I'm illiterate now. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's funny. Okay, here we go. Now we're going back to the Middle Ages, also called Christendom. All right. What was the medieval Eastern custom known as? Here's my Latin again. Quem quaeritus. Quem quaeritus. What was the medieval Eastern custom known as quem quaeritus? You're first on this one. A procession carrying baskets of Easter food to be blessed. B, a short dramatic dialogue at church reenacting the women at Christ's tomb. C, a public bonfire lit on Easter Monday. Or D, a custom of hiding eggs in the churchyard for children. Quem quaeritus. Do you want me to give you the answers again? Or
Yeah,
all right, I'll go through.
Thomas already knows this. Look
The
at him.
medieval Eastern custom of quem quaeritus.
Do you know?
A procession carrying Easter baskets of Easter food to be blessed, a short dramatic dialogue at church reenacting the women at Christ's tomb, a public bonfire lit on Easter Monday, or a custom of hiding eggs in the churchyard for children.
It's a total guess. See,
Oh, a public bonfire. And what do you say?
The answer's A.
I love the answer is a short dramatic dialogue at church reenacting the women at Christ's tomb. People are always like, women were so oppressed in the Middle Ages. In a lot of ways, that is not true, people. So,
I can't remember what the letters
so
were.
we
Did I
both
get
got it
right?
wrong.
You both got it wrong.
All right, hey,
How about that? The answer
welcome to the club.
was A, as a matter of fact. But
It grew out of
It's
the Easter
not.
liturgy centered on the question, whom do you seek? And it is one of the roots of medieval liturgical drama.
Okay,
the little scraps of Latin that I retained from TAC were just rattling around in my head, trying to latch on to something.
I guess that
quem
means-
quaeritas.
Random Catholic
Query-
315 is
query
showing
teeth.
us up. He's
Got that one too?
got that one too, and responding in Latin too.
Okay, so to anybody who has gotten them all correct, just tell us right now, I've gotten them all correct
Honor
so
system.
far. It's honor system. Yeah, we're not going to go back and check. Unless it's Big Stack, we do check his work.
Lisby
we've
Cath-
learned not to trust him.
Lisby Kath is blaming you. She said the fact I don't know the word that Sai's pronouncing is throwing me off.
Oh,
I'm gonna do that
Liz.
too, yeah.
Oh, Liz. Oh,
I'm going to do that too. That's why I got it wrong. Because
All right.
Sai only knows Latin from Google Translate.
if that. What? Okay, I think you go first on this one.
Yep.
And what is the medieval Easter tradition? Again, we're doing medieval Easter traditions.
Quem
This is-
quaeritas.
No, of Risus Paschalis. A barefoot penitential procession on Easter morning. B, a special Easter feast blessed at the church door. C, a custom of making the congregation laugh to celebrate Christ's victory over death. Or D, a dramatic reenactment of the women finding the empty tomb. I guess I shouldn't have included that one. Thanks a lot, ChatGPT. Thanks a lot.
What's the word again?
I'm just going to do ABC. I'm going to leave out D. We know it's not that. What is the medieval... I beg your pardon. Excuse me. What is the medieval Eastern tradition known as Risus Paschalis? A barefoot penitential procession on Easter morning. That's A. A special Easter feast blessed at the church door. That's B. A custom of making the congregation laugh to celebrate Christ's victory over death. That's C. And you are up first.
The answer's C.
I'm gonna go with B. It's C, isn't it?
I don't know. Do you want to change your answer or are you staying with B?
I'm gonna go with B. That's fine.
Do you want to change your answer to C?
I'm gonna change my answer to C.
Okay, so they both say C.
Wrong.
It is C. A custom of making the congregation laugh. So, just because of Risus, did you recognize that as risible means laughter?
Johnny, hit the correct button.
Yeah, yeah. Ah, there you go.
Yes.
So-
So the little Latin shards rattling around in my brain latched onto Rhesus, and that's
So,
Well,
ladies
in
and
English, we
gentlemen,
have
today,
the word risible, which
Correct.
means makes likely to make you laugh.
ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to just today announce that I will be retiring from an apologetics and historical career.
Well, it was Latin heavy, and I mean, it's not like you speak a
Latin
Romance
base.
language or something.
all you got to do is read Aristotle, where he talks about risibility being a sign of man's rational nature, and then you'll have risible in your head forever.
Risas.
I didn't know Aristotle said that.
Yeah, that's the only reason I know
Thanks,
that word.
Liz B.
Yeah, the priest would get up and tell jokes on Easter. Like during the sermon, he would tell jokes.
Wait, are
because
those all the questions?
That's all the questions. We're done. Oh, so who won? Tell me the score.
Oh, I
Johnny.
mean, let's not even count. Let's just
Let's go by school. Let's go by school. Which school won?
which school? That school?
No,
Thomas,
no.
Thomas Aquinas College
The one-
or Franciscan University
The one
of
with
Steubenville?
one employee on Catholic Answer staff, or the one with 17 employees on Catholic
To be
Answer
fair, I'm not a
staff?
good representation
Now
of
I'm-
Franciscan University
Now I'm not
students.
enjoying Thomas's victory as much as I was a minute
No,
ago.
no, let's do this again. Let's do more questions.
Which school won?
This is a lot of fun.
Thomas Aquinas College.
That's right.
You
What was
could have
the
just
score?
stayed at Thomas, okay?
4-3. All right.
right.
Neither of you got a perfect score though.
Not so dumb oxen after all, are we?
The University of Dallas people would have got a perfect score.
Not true.
All right, tell us your scores
Not
online. Divine Mercy Catechesis said 3-1 for me. 50% of the time I'm right. 100% of the time said S. Medrano. Let's see. I almost got it. I meant C. LOL. Never heard of that. Slapstick in the liturgy has to be a German thing. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, the Germans are really known for their humor. Sorry about that.
Do not understand. The Germans love their humor very much.
You know, there was a famous German comedian who was in the movies and met Hitler one time, and Hitler said to him, this German comedian, I'll have to look up who it was, but I remember reading this. Actually, in a biography of Pope Benedict, I read this. And the Hitler said to the comedian, "You've made me laugh many times." And the comedian said, "You've never made me laugh." Hitler, I love that.
Bro took his life in his own hands.
He did. Like, that's a dangerous joke
That's
to
some
make.
jester's privilege right there. That is. Oof.
Michael Morvan says Cy, Edgar, and Thomas are having way too much fun.
Well, it is the octave of Easter.
It's Easter. You're supposed to be joyful. You're supposed to be having joy, Michael. At least I did not take D. Okay, well, I don't know how people did. 4-1. Divine Mercy Catechesis just killed it. 4-1,
Yep.
tied with Thomas.
And he's Team Franciscan. Look at that.
I was Team Franciscan. Divine Mercy Cat. Oh, so
Nicely done.
did you just say what Thomas said? Is that what that meant? Because you got the same score as Thomas. Las risas. What does that mean in Espanol?
The laughs. I didn't put it together.
So sad. The laughs.
Didn't connect the dots, man. Oof.
So not only your school, but your culture also.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I resign my cultural.
Hey, hand in your Mexican card.
He goes, the laughs. Poor Goliath. He's so dumb.
Well, he did die from a slingshot to the head, okay?
This is great because tomorrow Edgar and I are going to be stuck in a small metal tube together for 2.5 hours as we fly it down. He's just going to be looming over me the whole time, just giving me the stink eye.
He's going to take the armrest. He's not going to let you have the armrest.
You have to feel bad for the people sitting next to me because it's funny when the flight gets filled up, is when you're flying Southwest or we used to fly, and I just kind of spread out. And when people are walking by, they'd look and like, just like
You were that person. You were that guy.
because I take up so much space. I'm like, all right.
Or would
it
you
is what
would
it
you ever
is.
be like one of the last people on, and everyone would look at you like, oh no, oh no?
I've had that look. Yep.
Yeah.
The worst
I do
part.
it. I sit there going, you. No, darn it. You, come on, you. Like, lady with a baby. The baby can have the middle seat. Come on, sit down.
there has been times when I think it was one of the last times I flew. I'm walking, and I'm one of the last people to board, and I look over at my aisle, and it's big dude, clearly over 300 pounds. Big dude, clearly over 300 pounds, and I go and I look at him, and I'm like, sorry guys, that's where I'm sitting too, man. Yep, got real cozy.
Well, Thomas, this is the first time you've done Supershow with us.
With you specifically, yeah. I've done
Oh, you've done it.
I did a couple with just Edgar, but yeah, this is the first time that.
Where was I? Was I in Wyoming or something?
I don't know. Probably,
Wyoming, Idaho.
I loved
Probably
Wyoming.
talking to people.
People are so nice in Wyoming.
North Dakota, South Dakota, one of the Dakotas.
No, I wasn't in. The Dakotas. I haven't been there for a while. I also love the Dakotas.
How do they talk in Wyoming? Because I was about to go but that's not the Midwest.
Nope.
No.
Oh yeah,
No, that's not the
I'm
Midwest
from
at all.
Wyoming. Oh yeah,
That would be awesome.
That's
if
how they do
did.
it. Yeah, then they get in their bobsleds and they just
And they-
bobsled around.
Just go down to 7-Eleven in the bobsled.
They talk really like normal people there. It's a little bit like Nebraska, where you go to Nebraska and you're like, there's not much. I mean, Nebraskans just sound like they sound regular. They don't sound like it.
No microculture there. To
They
make
sound
them-
regular. I mean,
Like,
country, no?
Like do a Nebraska accent. Like there is not one. There's not a Nebraska accent, and so at least when I was in Wyoming, I didn't notice much of an accent. It seemed
No. The only guy I know from Nebraska was my buddy Tim from college, and the most distinctive thing about him was he loved corn. It was his whole personality. It was like he grew up on a corn farm, and that's his like screen name now is Of the Corn. And he just shout out to Tim if you're watching. You're probably not. You're probably
remember that kid
streaming,
on the
but-
internet that liked corn?
It's corn. Yes,
I
it has
loved
the
that
juice.
kid. Do you remember the kid that loved corn?
No.
Everybody, look this up later
has
after
the
the show.
juice. It has the
Look up the
juice.
little kid that loved corn. It's so cool.
It's trended
He's
like
such a sweet
4
kid.
years ago, which is ancient history. So, yeah, but I know the one you're talking about.
Because I think about 4 years ago I had Instagram for a little while, and then
You
I would
had
just
Instagram?
I would just get hypnotized by it. I had to get rid of it because then like the corn kid would come on, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, "That's hilarious,"
Yeah,
and I'd
you-
keep watching the corn kid. I'd look up and it'd be like 2 a.m. I'd be like, "I gotta go to bed."
Yeah, you got hit with a tactical strike right there when you got onto Instagram. That was pretty good timing.
Corn. I forget how we would say corn.
It's
I love
corn.
corn. I love corn. Corn.
It's cone because
Yeah,
he was like
he loved corn.
he
This
was like
kid just loved
4
corn.
years old and he couldn't talk so perfectly yet.
But he was the greatest corn salesman ever.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
was the single greatest. Are you looking him up right now?
No, I'm
Kid
not.
who loved corn.
spiritually he was the same as my buddy Tim.
I'm not really in
Yeah.
favor of kids on the internet either. Like I a lot of times I look at it and go, why are we putting that kid on the internet? That's not good for that kid.
Probably not.
But like that kid's going to be the corn kid, so it's not probably good for him. But he was
Oh yeah.
one of the coolest things.
You're
on the
right.
internet.
He's going to be the corn kid because during that trend, one great video I saw was this guy imagining like the corn kid 20 years from now, and he's like, he gets one of his friends to play the grown-up corn kid, and he's just sitting in public eating a corn on the cob, and then this other guy runs up, he's like, "Oh, you're the guy," you're the guy. And he's like,
Wait, is
Yeah,
it,
I'm
is
the
it
corn.
Is it the toothless kid with
Well,
with corn?
I can't
Maybe.
remember if he was. I don't know. It was a while ago.
maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that
That's
kid.
him.
Is
There
that
he
the kid? Yeah,
That's him.
corn. He just likes corn.
Yeah.
And he has, I don't know what his accent is. I don't know where it is, Midwest somewhere, but he's
4-year-old.
He just liked corn.
Yeah.
Corn.
4-year-old
Yeah.
corn-fed kids.
Yeah, but I'm not really into putting the kids on the internet.
No, it's probably not a good idea, especially now that every AI model is now just being trained on who knows what that
Yeah.
that people find and deliver on the internet. So now you put pictures of your kids like publicly available on the internet. Now that might be fed into an algorithm, and then all of a sudden,
Something bad.
one billionth of your kid is composing this AI generated image of a kid doing who knows what.
Right.
So
Right.
it might be the best idea to set all your pictures
Well, I
on
always
private
feel like
now.
that kid gets into middle school too, right? And then it's just one more thing for the other kids to pick on him about. Like,
Yeah.
you want some corn?
Yeah, hey buddy, you like corn?
Yeah, right. Hey, corn boy asked me out on a date. I mean, like, oh man,
gosh. You can
That's
at
brutal.
least do barley. Come on. Yeah, brutal.
All right, thanks for coming in, Thomas the TikTok Engine.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sorry I called you Thomas the Tank Engine. You're really good at this.
It's okay. We all make mistakes.
You two should do this with Emily and Erica sometimes because they're super smart. They would really bring up the show with you two.
Yeah, would they beat me at the quiz? You think?
I think Emily would.
Stop stroking his ego, man. Just stop it.
I don't think Erica would because Erica's a convert. Well, so I don't know if maybe
Dude,
converts.
some
do.
of the converts are, they had.
Wait,
they
no,
had-
Emily's a convert too. What am I saying? They're
Yeah.
both converts to the faith.
Yeah.
Okay,
They,
so
they had to do it themselves, man. I don't know. That's a little intimidating.
okay, so here's what we'll do. I want some voting on the stream, if you could, please. Pick your top 3 people for Super Show. Just put together your killer lineup. Your killer lineup of. I'm going to give you 5 people. No, I'll give you 6. We'll throw John. No, I don't want to put John Sorensen in there. He's not. I don't. He's on.
Throw him in there
Finish
just so
that
make.
thought.
Go
Finish
ahead,
that
go
thought.
ahead.
Why don't you want John Sorensen?
Because he's a different. Because we're gonna have him whether they like him or not.
'Cause he's a
Okay, because
different
he's John
breed.
Sorensen.
Yeah.
We like him. But okay, so I'll do 6. I'll do 6 choices, and you got to pick 3. Put your top 3 lineup, and we're gonna see who wins the top 3 lineup. But you can. Here's your options from, and I'm gonna put this on the stream so people can see it. You can go, Erica, I got to spell it correctly. Sorry.
Oh, this is going to take
Erica?
a while, isn't
No,
it?
Yeah, hang on.
Erica,
Pack a lunch here.
Emily, Thomas, Edgardo, Cy, or John Sorensen. Okay, so
one more.
Who?
Jeff Cam.
Jeff from Jeff Cam. Yeah, Jeff Cam. So
You gotta pick 3 from these out of 7.
Three out of 7.
No, you got to pick your death lineup. You got to pick up if it's your 3. Like it's like your doctor said you're going to die later today. You can only watch one episode of Super Show. Who are the 3 people you want to be on that Super Show? And then we'll see who our death line is. It's probably going to be Erica, Emily, and Jeff, and none of us will be on it. But make your death lineup.
Why is it a death lineup? That doesn't sound like. I get the premise that you just said. It just sounds like this show will bring you death. It's so bad.
Are you a basketball fan?
Every March and then not.
Okay, because the Warriors were one of the great teams, one of the great dynasties.
Oh, were they the death?
And then they had
lineup?
5 players that when they put those 5 players on, they called it the death lineup because
I see.
Nobody could.
I
beat
see.
them.
It's like the Yankees being Murderers Row.
Murderers Row.
Okay.
Exactly like
Okay.
Murderers Row. Yes.
Gotcha.
All right, I have to go. What are you guys going to do? Hang out in here, or are you going to go?
We're going
Should we call it?
call it for now, and when we come back, you're going to have...
Does Johnny know how to turn it off? He does. Or is it,
Johnny
it's like,
knows how
Do you
to
know where
turn
the
it
off
off.
button is, Johnny? Idea? Let's all give Johnny a big hand. He does a great job
Attaboy,
in there.
JJ.
Johnny Versillo.
There is a
We
button
need a
for
Johnny
applause.
cam. If we got a Jeff cam, we need a
what are we
Johnny
doing?
cam.
What are
All
we
right, when we come back, we
Peace.
have Father Mark Gandolfo. If you have a question about vocations, if you're thinking about maybe a vocation to the priesthood, to, religious life, to anything like that, give us a call the next hour, 888-318-7884. And after that, it'll be an Ask Me Anything on the Mass with Tom Nash. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Hang in there.
Go to Thomas Aquinas College.